Am I live? Is it? Right, okay. Right, so I just watched this like New Earth video, right? It's called Response to Criticism, and then in brackets something about the third and fourth, or fourth and fifth dimension in the astral plane, something like that. You can find it on her channel. Because it's only just come out about half an hour ago. I just had time to watch it, and I just made this video because it's a really great video. So this is what this is about, really. This is video that I just watched from New Earth. And it was only up for 7 minutes when I clicked onto it. So I'm straight on it, right? Because she's done ayahuasca, right, about 200 times. Now, I haven't done ayahuasca, but I've had near-death experiences where that have caused me to have what's it called? That DMT release, which is basically what ayahuasca is. It's giving your body loads of DMT. Your body releases DMT when you're born. You know, when you give birth, if you're a woman. If you have a near-death experience, you know. And when you're going to die as well, you know. So as you're getting to the end of your life, the reason people say that your life flashes before you when you're going to die, or your whole life flashes before you, because that's what happens when DMT goes into your brain. You start seeing the big picture all at once. It's like a big rush of right brain, like perception. Rather than left brain perception, which is much more focused on details. When you get right brain perception, you're seeing the big picture. So that's what ayahuasca is about. And so this woman, Sylvia, who does New Earth videos, she's done ayahuasca about 200 times, as far as I know. So she's gone through that process. I've had it probably, apart from being born. The interesting thing for me is that I remember being born, so I can remember that DMT experience then. I nearly got struck by lightning once. That was like another near-death experience. So it was like about 20 meters away from where I was standing. So that was like, I got a DMT rush from that. It was like, it was like, it's what people describe as ayahuasca experience. It was like just my you know, I've had other drugs, you know, I've had other like magic mushrooms and stuff, and cannabis and stuff. I know what drugs do to you, how they change your consciousness. So I was fully aware. I was very aware that I was having a consciousness changing experience, you know, for like several hours after I was nearly struck by lightning. I've had another thing where I nearly fell off a cliff while I was climbing a cliff, and then managed to back hold of the rock again a few feet down. So I would have dropped about 60 feet onto some rocks. And I managed to sort of hold on and quickly scramble up, and that as well, you know, I just got this consciousness changing experience. It must have been DMT. That's all it can be. So yeah, I've had these things like happen to me. So I know what this woman's talking about, and she's talking about the drug experiences being a way to sort of permanent changes in consciousness, like, you know, nirvana and samadhi. She's talking about. It's about a half an hour video. I don't want to go on for half an hour, but I just wanted to make a quick video about this video and recommend it, and I should try and leave a link in the. I could leave a link in the thing here, couldn't I? Let me just copy this. Let's see if this works. Oh, is it? Let me copy it. Let me paste it in there. Ah, it won't let me paste it. Come on. It won't let me paste it in. What? Oh well. Oh, you can have to go and find it yourself then, because I can't paste it in here at the moment. Yeah, so she's been in my dreams a few times. New Earth, Sylvia from New Earth, a few years ago now. They were just, I don't know what they were. They were silly little dreams. They weren't. There's nothing spectacular about them. One time she was working in the supermarket as a checkout woman. Another time I was just walking up the street with her, talking to her. But anyway, what she normally does in her videos is talk about the old prehistoric kind of buildings and rock, archaeology that's all around the world. So much of it is like really mysterious, and modern archaeology and science hasn't got any sort of explanation for it, that makes any sense. And she brings a lot of attention to this. Now, what I think is interesting is that the words we use, and she brings some attention to this about talking about how in the video that I'm reviewing, she talks about how drugs are, I already said this, didn't I? Drugs are can be a way to a permanent change towards, like a fast track to sort of nirvana and samadhi. Anyway, so we've got this word materialism, and what's frustrating and what I like about New Earth's videos and the way she speaks, it's a lot of our words, like things like spiritual, the word spiritual and materialism, they've got they're so heavily charged with meaning that they're basically redundant. The words don't mean anything because they're just they're too much. They're way too much. So she actually mentions people trying to communicate about ayahuasca. Instead of using the word spiritual, they say that ayahuasca creates a magical state of consciousness, right, rather than anything spiritual. And then by using the term magical to as a base for their communication, they can make progress much more effectively. Now, so yeah, the word materialism. What I find a bit frustrating and annoying about it is that it alludes, you would think, to the material world, right? So that means the earth, it's about the physical plane of the actual earth, the real world, and there's all these there's archaeology around that we don't learn about in school. It's never really discussed much on in a meaningful way in mainstream programs. They talk about they do documentaries on things like the pyramids in Egypt and stuff, but it's all mysterious, and they don't really talk about anything about what it might all mean, because it's not just the pyramids. It's not like that. The pyramids are all over the world. They're everywhere, and it's like there was obviously some really advanced people on this planet, and it's not really figured in our history. People don't grow up. It's right. Let me just try and say this clearly. What it is, there's a conspicuous absence of emphasis on this stuff. It seems like it's like, why are they trying to keep everyone like in the dark about it? You know, why aren't we thinking about where did all this technology, where did all these pyramids and strange architecture come from, you know, and how did they manage to build it all, you know, and why is it sort of like not mentioned in our history books, you know, all this stuff, you know, why are we being kept in the dark, you know? This to me is like, you know, these are important questions when it comes to doing the work, because that's what history, understanding the world is about understanding history, right? So how else can you understand it? You know, you need to understand history as it really is, not necessarily how it's written in the history books, but how it really is. So real archaeology is about real history, and it's about understanding the physical plane, the world where we live in, you know. It seems that there's a lot of people that are like, they're kind of like, I mean, this world is like it's nature. We live in nature, and nature is full of parasites, right? It's just how it works. That's what the banking system is. It's like a parasite, you know. It's got its good points, you know. A lot of these parasites have got good qualities, you know. They actually have got a use, you know. It's not like, you know, they create a balance, you know. I'm not trying to excuse them. I think there's better ways. Ideally, for example, you know, it'd be better to not have malaria, you know, which is, you know, passed on by mosquitoes generally. So, you know, it'd be nice to not have mosquitoes, or at least have a cure for malaria, you know. Ah, dear. Also, updates. Yeah, I've got a washing machine, you know. I'm really so pleased. I kind of feel like I'm having a holiday now. I'm just getting used to having the washing machine. Oh yeah, I was going to do some other updates. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Oh, it's some other things like about yeah, the work and the progress. Well, how it seems at the moment, it's like I've got a map, and it's like I'm following this map, like a sort of you know, a multi-dimensional map of things, you know. And it's like this is so much better than where I was before. Because it's like I can follow the map now, you know, and it's like the difference between not knowing where I was or where I was going, to now knowing where I am and knowing where I'm going. That's what the difference is, you know, from having done the work for like just over 5 years now. And so, you know, I kind of feel much better in myself. It's like, it's hard to, it's funny because it's like over, you know, there's lots of little gradual changes that have happened over these 5 years. And okay, well, it just feels like my life fits around me better, like some nicer clothes, you know, that fitted me. Whereas before, my clothes didn't fit me properly, whereas now they do. although on the surface not really much has changed at all. As I say, I'm still basically more or less in the same place, but now I've got a map and I know where I am, and I know where I'm going, kind of thing. So, that's about it, really. Anyway, so I really recommend this New Earth video, and I'll leave a link in the comments if I get around to it. Well, that'll take a little while, maybe a few days. Thanks for watching. Bye. Oh yeah, how do I stop this thing? Right. Okay.